to another episode of The Lofty Lender. Today I am joined by Jason Mickelson. Jason started his sales career in the car business selling Chevys in 2004 and made the leap to real estate in May of 2017. He started at Century 21 Signature Real Estate in Ames and quickly became a dual agent for the Ames and Des Moines markets. Since that time, Jason has put his focus into growing his personal business and bringing along a team of rockstar agents to mentor and develop. Currently, there are 9 agents on the Jason Mickelson real estate team with plans to add more after the first of the year. Jason and his wife, Angela Mickelson, lived in Ames for 25 years before moving to Altoona in 2022. Woo, woo, go Altoona. They have one daughter, Eiley, who recently graduated from Iowa State University and has since joined the team in July. Welcome to the show, Jason.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I stuttered there reading your bio because it says you started selling Chevys back in 2004. I didn't think you were that old, man. That kind of threw me off.
Yep. Yeah, I'm 45 now, so
why'd you
hit my groove now?
Why'd you make the leap into real estate then?
Well, so I had bounced around to 3 different car dealerships and tried a business on my own, working for car dealers. Actually working with their internet leads, believe it or not. And so from 2011 to 2014, we had a business that's what we did for dealerships in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa. There was reasons about being a W-2 employee of a car dealership to talk to people about cars. So we're like, okay, well, we're not going to fight this. So we got out. I went back to a dealership for 3 years, and then it's difficult managing in car dealerships because car dealers want to run it their way, and I need to run it my way to make it work. So now I'm in business for myself.
There you go. That's awesome. So what correlations do you see between the two?
Well, the thing that's the same as you're selling. The thing that's majorly different is that you're on the same side of the table. When you're in the car dealership, I work for the car dealer. I can be your buddy, but I can't be representing you fully because the car dealership actually employs me. In real estate, we don't care about anybody but our client, and except for in dual where it's a little trickier. But if I represent a buyer, it's just us against the world, and if it's a seller, I have their interests at heart too.
Are there any experiences that you remember where you were you kind of felt like you wanted to be their buddy, but you had to kind of, it didn't work out to be their buddy essentially in the car business, whereas now you look back and you're like, I'm really glad that I'm on this side in real estate because now I am going to be, standing up for my customer?
It's every time they ask you, can we get $500 more? Maybe, probably let it go. And so then that's what's kind of interesting is then you go actually work your manager, the guy behind the Wizard of Oz behind the desk in the other room, so you go back in there and like, hey, I just am stuck. I can't do it. I need $500 more. And we do work hard for the people on the other side of the table, but at the same time, it's just different. And now when I say I can or can't, it's real and it's fun. This is a way better experience, actually.
It's probably not nearly as cutthroat as the car business as well. Is that right? Or you see some different aspects that I see?
I think that's a great question. I think it is in some ways. I think agents on the other side, that are working hard for their clients, they're a lot like working with a manager trying to get a deal together. And so in a lot of ways that's similar. Every agent's different. Some are great to work with. Some are really tough. And no matter what you are, I can deal with that. I mean, it's probably going to mirror a little bit. But I do find that I can work with anyone, whoever it is on the other side.
So how have you approached growing your team, knowing that you've got 9 agents now and that you previously were wanting to start up your own dealerships and that kind of stuff, and that just didn't end up going out the way you wanted it to? How are you growing your team now with real estate, and how do you draw from those previous experiences?
Everything was about training in those previous, like when we grew our business to work for car. I'm still working for car dealers, but we took college students who had never been in a car dealership, maybe never even bought a car, and turned them into appointment setters. And in this arena too, I'm actually working hard with people that have not sold homes necessarily, or even sold anything. But we're looking for really quality people that care, people that want to work hard, and putting them out in the field, and then working very side by side. And what's your problems? What are you encountering? What are we going to say to those folks to make sure that they move forward? We have to always be advancing everybody through the transaction, and the goal is to do it rapidly. So I see a lot of new agents that just stall and they don't know what to do. Maybe it's improper follow-up timing, and maybe it's just what you're saying. And so we're working really hard with those folks. And I believe it or not, I said after the car business, I said I wasn't going to do two things. I wasn't going to start a team, and I wasn't going to do internet leads. And that lasted about 6 months. And like, hey, I need to be busier. So I started with internet leads pretty early on in 2018.
That's awesome. So you and your wife moved to Altoona. What was the reason for the switch?
A client that needed a house, and I showed him my house, and he bought it. And I thought, well, it'll be easy to find something else that will work for us, and it was not. We rented for about 10 months, and I saw the writing on the wall for interest rates. So in 2022, beginning of the year, I locked in right before at 3.25, so I didn't get the bottom, but I didn't get hurt on it. So we ended up looking everywhere, and Altoona was the best buy out there on the planet. So
yeah, it's a beautiful community, and I love being a part of it. And seems like it's growing. But my favorite part about Altoona is that we've got the touristy areas that help bring in the money, but all that stuff is kind of on the northwest side of town. And being a community member, I don't necessarily see all that stuff. I don't usually go up to those restaurants. I just kind of hang out in the community aspect of it. So it's kind of nice to be totally separate, but still get the money from all the tourism.
It really feels like similar to Ames from 25 years here. It feels similar. It has a lot of the same amenities. Des Moines very close, but there's no traffic. And then we miss the college kids a little bit because that always brings a lot of energy to the town. But Altoona's been great.
So your daughter Eiley joined your team after graduating from Iowa State.
Yep.
What's it been like having her as part of your business, and how do you differentiate she's your daughter versus she's your employee?
You really don't treat her different, and she doesn't get special treatment by any means. It's a situation where I'm probably maybe harder on her at times. We went to a group team outing, and she was out of line. I straightened her out quick, but the point is that she's got high expectations. The thing that I love is that she's got her mom in her too. She's got a lot of sweetness. She's got a lot of brains, and she asks really great questions. So I'm very impressed with what she's done. She just had her first closing 2 weeks ago, and now she started in July, sold one right away. She's got another one under contract, and she's been showing $1 million listings to this one couple they say they're going to buy this week. So, I mean, that would be very exciting to start out your third one being over $1 million. It took me a long time. In fact, I don't know. Yeah, $1 million one. So she's going to beat Dad in her second month,
That's awesome. Are there any family traditions or values that have influenced the way you approach your career and leadership in real estate?
Absolutely. And I think that's kind of fun because it goes all the way back to when I told my dad I was going to sell cars, and he said, "Oh, Jason." And you could hear the disgust and the sadness in his voice on the phone. And I'm like, what? I'm going to do it different. I'm not going to be a plaid jacket car salesman. I want to go out and actually help people and do things the right way. And that was how I was raised. We worked really hard we grew up on a farm and worked really hard. And no matter what I did, it wasn't right. So I got to learn the right way to do it with my dad because he always had a better way of doing it. And in most cases, it probably was. But it's, again, I just go back to that upbringing of, hey, what's right? And how I probably stand up on the hill too many times and fall on my sword. But at the same time, it's just right or wrong. And when we're dealing in real estate, there's a lot of people with a lot of opinions. But I still think I think most people know what's right and what's wrong, and I stand for that.
I think it's the farmer mentality to have that, oh, Jason moment, because my parents had the same thing. I said I was getting into mortgages, going 100% commission, and they said, why would you ever do something like that when you've got a job that's going to pay you a base pay plus commission, and you can still get a little bit of fun with that commission, but you don't have to risk yourself. And I said, but I've also looked around and I see the people that have that base pay plus commission, and they don't work very hard and they still get paid. And that's not my favorite thing. I want to bust my butt and I want to get rewarded for it, right? And it's kind of the same for you.
But as a farmer, like, I mean, there's no guaranteed paycheck. What are you
It's true.
doing? Like,
It's
let's
true.
talk about risk. Let's talk about no paycheck. And that might be why they're excited for you to go do something different too. I think my dad was like, "Oh, you have a chance to go have a little more security than what they did." I mean, he started farming in '81, like in the worst time to start farming, and he got divorced when I was 10, so when I'm like 88. So he went through a couple of hurdles and struggled, financially for most of my youth. And I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's like I just think he really had a bad taste in his mouth for car salesman.
There was that one guy. He didn't want you to be that guy.
Yeah.
So outside of work, I know you've told me in the past, but let's share with the audience. Outside of work, what do you like to do for fun?
Well, 2020 changed everything for us. We had for one of the things that we did for fun was go to Lake of the Ozarks. We get an invite about once a year from one of my wife's friends, and we just loved the place. And in 2020, there was nothing to do, and we're like, we went and spent a week with them down at the lake, and it was normal. Life was happening, and we're like, man, how do we get down here? And we thought about buying a condo, and then that seemed like a bad idea because then we'd need a boat, and after boating with our friends, we would need a big boat. And so we said, well, if we buy a big boat we can live on. So we ended up buying a boat at the Ozarks, and we go down pretty much every weekend, and we spend the weekend on the boat and go out to restaurants and pools and cove out and have just a great time. And we've met a lot of neat people at the lake, so it's neat to go connect with those friends. They're there for the same reason. Just have fun.
So you're a busy real estate agent. You
Yep.
are selling houses left and right, and you're spending your weekends on a boat. How do you, I mean, that's a lot of drive time. How do you make it down there and stay connected?
Well, I'm on the phone the whole way down, and that's a great time to connect with team and other people that we need to talk to. So the phone actually helps the drive go faster. Definitely recommend a car that drives itself. We shouldn't talk about that. And
That's what I was hoping to talk about.
yeah, no, I make sure every car I have has lane assist, centering, and adaptive cruise. So I still managed to get some things done, and it's about 5 hours down there, but it's worth it. And the whole time I'm down there, the phone is I don't even get in the pool without my phone. I have it on me, and I'm available, and that's part of why we ended up growing a team. I said I wouldn't do that, but my first assistant, licensed agent, she helped on the weekends when I was gone, which wasn't as frequent. And then we added a couple more, and then then I saw a path forward on how to really grow and develop people, and I thought, what, I'm enjoying that aspect of it. And I still sell houses and still enjoy that, and I hope to always sell houses, but I'm also enjoying growing people.
So you hope to always sell houses. So what does the next 3 years look like for the Jason Mickelson real estate team?
Yeah, we're at 9, including me. I think the goal would be to double one more time in the next 3 years for sure. I might be able to do it faster, year and a half, but by 3 years I want to be double. There's probably a time where then it becomes difficult to sell. We're going to have to lay out some different hierarchies. Maybe we have some mini teams within my team where you have a team lead, and then the hard stuff filters up to me. But I think that's where we're headed. Is we're gonna promote within to have some opportunities for the top agents on the team, and then that want it. Some aren't gonna want it. Some just want to sell houses, and that's fine. But some might also enjoy the part of the growing aspects. And I have a couple that I see already take a liking to that. They're very helpful. Everybody on the team is helpful. They were new recently within the last 3 years. Everyone's 3 years or less, and so it's a really neat dynamic right now because everybody's there to help each other.
So do you have any plans for your daughter as she's kind of part of the team? Is she going to fall into the same boat as everybody else? She's no special treatment?
No special treatment there. And she's young, 20.
Yep.
She turns 24 in November. So in 10, 15 years, would she be ready to take over the team? Maybe. I don't know. But there's no direct path for that, and there's no guarantee that she's still doing this. I mean, it's up to her. I didn't push her to do this. In fact, when I told her Before she started, I said, and before she graduated, I said I didn't think she was ready. And then I watched her through an internship that she had through her senior year, and I was really impressed with how she handled some adversity. And I said, you know what, if you want to do this, I'm there for you. We'll start this out, and you can join the team. And you know what? That she thought about it for a couple weeks. She didn't even just like automatically say she was going to do it. So I like that. I mean, it was her decision. She decided I want to do this, and she's put 100% effort into it.
That's awesome. Well, it must be special having your daughter on your team as well, and being able to go to work and knowing that you're going to see her. And she's been in school for a while, so now you get to see her again. So I'm sure that's a pleasure to have her around.
Probably not moving away, which is the big deal. We just have one, so I could see her moving. There was a boyfriend that moved to Texas. I'm like, oh no, that's all we need is she moves to Texas or something.
That's why she got the job offer. Okay,
yeah.
Makes sense. Quick pick segment. I'm going to ask you a few questions. I just need you a this or that type of answer. You can answer it, or you can also expand upon it if you want to give me some more detail there.
Okay.
So, iOS or Android?
Well, Android's better, but I'm iOS. That's just because of the lake. They wouldn't let me in a group chat.
Bookstore or library?
Boy, but you won't find me in either one of those very often. So,
Fair.
Audiobooks.
There you go. Audacity, right? That's where you're going to be. Netflix binge or movie night?
Personally, movie night.
Pizza or tacos?
Pizza.
Type of pizza?
I'm weird. Barbecue chicken, barbecue beef, barbecue pork. Anything barbecue is great.
Do you put pineapple on your pizza?
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
No.
Okay.
No
Good.
fruit on pizza. Even vegetables. No. What are we doing?
Oh, well, I mean, you've got like a BLT pizza, right? Like no?
Oh, no, not me. Not a big fruit or vegetable. I'll eat vegetables. No fruits. Gross.
Adventure travel or relaxing staycation?
Oh yeah, we adventure travel for sure.
Sneakers or dress shoes?
Yeah, sneakers. A nice looking sneaker. Can't
dressy
be too,
sneaker.
We're not wearing Nikes out to work every day.
Live sports event or concert?
Concert. We've been to some cool ones. Pitbull.
Was that your favorite?
Yeah. Oh man, it was cool.
Cooking at home or dining out?
Dining out.
Is that to say anything about your wife's cooking, or?
No, she's a great cook, but I just it's too much work. Like let's have someone else do it if we're gonna. We kind of snack and forage, and then it's a treat when someone else cooks a meal.
Camping or glamping?
Well, I think the boat would be considered glamping. So
that's what I thought. Yeah. Road trip or plane ride?
Plane.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I see you led with chocolate, so that's the wrong answer.
Action movies or comedies?
Action. Marvel. Just went to Deadpool Wolverine. I recommend it. My wife hated it.
Next time, the next Deadpool movie that comes out, let me know. We'll go hit up the Altoona movie theater. I'll go with you.
All right.
I need out of the house. Coffee shop or home brewed coffee?
Coffee guy.
Not a coffee guy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your pick me up in the morning?
Sweet tea would be a special. I'm having water this morning, which is not exciting, but yeah. Sweet tea all day if I could.
No energy drinks, Monster, Red Bull, nothing?
Rockstar Orange. Yeah, it's my favorite.
Wine or beer?
Thank goodness they don't run out of Coors Light very often.
Don't they have Yingling down there in Missouri?
Yep, and they even come in the 20 or 16-ounce aluminum twist-off tops, just like Coors Light. So you wouldn't believe this, but funny fact, you can't get those 16-ounce aluminum cans in the Ozarks. Never run out in Iowa, but the Ozarks you cannot find them. So had to buy a 15-pack of the Yinglings last week.
Next time you go down, I'll have to maybe put an order in with you, but I don't know if they'll make it back.
No, I can get them back.
Apple pie or pumpkin pie? No, not a pie?
Those are like fruits.
Fruits baked into, yeah, okay. No fruit at all. Like not even just, you don't eat just blueberries, not even on your pizza, just blueberries straight. Nothing. Wow, okay. I thought we were talking about pizza only earlier. Okay.
No, sir. Fruit.
And you're still so fit. How does it work?
I don't know. Not fruit.
Trending topic. So you lead the #1 team in Iowa. in adjusted gross commissions at Century 21. You rank 16th out of 50,000 Century 21 agents nationwide in the same category. And you're 6th in the country in total homes sold. How do you do it? How do you sell that many homes in Iowa, of all places? And how do you stay sane? I mean, I get you have the 9 people, but there has to be a plan. You must have something that you say, all right, the customer called us. This is the process. This is what we do every single time because we've streamlined a way to make sure that, this one doesn't go off and search for 50 homes and waste everyone's time and not decide to buy. Like, how do you do it?
One thing, obviously, it's a lot of things. And Iowa's a hot market. People that are watching what's happening nationally realize that Iowa's been a hotbed for once in our lifetime. People are moving to Iowa because of affordability. Until 2000 and after COVID, everyone was leaving the state, graduate high school, I want to move somewhere else. And now people are like, oh, you know what? Yeah, winter sucks, but Iowa's pretty great, the rest of it. And it's got jobs, it's affordable. And so what we are seeing is our business model has focused on first-time home buyers, and it focused on people that are from out of the area. And our company has always taught that you do a good job of Buffini, and you are sending out mailers all the time, and you're calling and having client parties and events, and that's great. It's another way to do business, and it's a very cost-effective way to do business, but it limits how fast you can grow. And I took a look at this and said, hey, I don't want to grow slow. I got licensed in May of 17, so I would say I'm still relatively new. And once we started finding success at adding a couple people, then it was a matter of just looking at what markets we could grow in. I have 3 agents in the Urbandale, Johnston area. I've got 1 in Indianola. I've got 3, 4 up in Ames, Boone market. So we're working those areas. We're finding lead opportunities where we can give people actual leads and the guidance that they need to be successful. Am I busy? Yeah, my phone's busy, but I don't know that I work harder than I did when it was just me selling and hustling, trying to make the deals all happen. My first year, I sold 58 in 18, and was really proud of that. That felt like a big accomplishment, but again, that was kind of about maxing. I always thought about 75 was all I could do max on my own. And then things get easier. Dotloop has made life easier, showing time. All these tools that we have are great, but ultimately what we're doing now is having, if you've got everybody on the team producing, I tell everybody I want them all making $100,000 plus and hustling. I've got people that are making way over that, but we want to start out making $100,000 and here's the recipe. You're gonna work hard. I'm gonna show you how to do it, and they get right after it and go. And I get a portion of what the team does, of course, and the leads are expensive, so the portion's a little high. But then you take a look at a couple. One of them, my top agent this year, was ready to get out of real estate. I interviewed her, and I won't tell you who it is. She'd be embarrassed to know this, but I mean, when in the interview with the other agent she was working for, I mean, she cried the whole time, basically, because she's so frustrated. And then within 6 months, she did really great. She ended up being Rookie of the Year for our company. And there really is a secret sauce. I would encourage anybody, go figure out how to sell. Like, that was a dirty word when I got to our company. And now it's like, yeah, we got to be good at, selling things. And selling is actually not telling you what to think. Selling is asking great questions, educating them, and making it your idea. And if you go out and make things their idea, they'll do it. When you try to tell them what to do, they put up a wall, they push back, and they're like, no way, I'm not doing that. And so I would encourage everybody, if they wanted one good book, Spin Selling is my favorite book by Neil Rackham. It's probably not for the person that just started selling last week, but again, if you started last week and you read it 3 times this year, it'll make more sense every time. And if you've been selling for a couple of years, pick up that book, and then what you're doing on purpose, if it lines up with that process, you'll get better at it. I mean, the things that he tells you to do, we do sometimes, but if you do it every time, you're going to sell a bunch of houses.
That's awesome. I have never heard of that book. I'm going to have to totally pull that one out myself and read it, because mortgages are the same thing. They're selling. I love it.
four types of questions. I mean, the basic premise is there's four types of questions, and the one most people ask, especially new and experienced salespeople, the situation questions, kind of like an example of why. You know, a young child's asking why. That's what we tend to do as new agents and new salespeople, and it never works. And so he goes into the three other kinds of questions that will help you get where you want to go with people.
I love it. Well, thank you. Well, Jason, thanks for joining the show today. This was enlightening to understand how you've decided to grow your business, and obviously it's working. If anyone out there has learned anything about Jason, if they're interested in joining your team, if they want to ask you some questions, how can they get a hold of you?
Unlike a lot of people, I think a lot of people like to leave their cell phone in their car, living room, or whatever. I mean, call me, 515-290-5859. My phone's always on.
You're answering your calls every time. You're answering text messages. You're one guy that always answers the phone, and I really appreciate that. It's always easy to get a hold of you. So, again, thanks for joining, Jason. It's been a pleasure. For all you listeners out there, make sure to hit that subscribe button, follow us on social media, and stay tuned. And as always, if you enjoyed the show, please leave a review and share it with your friends. Your support means the world to me and helps bring exciting guests every week. Stay tuned till next week, and we'll see you then on The Lofty Lender.
Thank you.